All right, so the third video I'm sending is on division. The students use, very similar to multiplication, the representation of place value by looking at each place value and what value each of them holds. So I've already started this problem, but if we have 3,462 divided by 2 with our variable, we have our dividend, our divisor, and our quotient. One of the ways that students set this up is by taking the divisor and writing each of those in a row. So lined paper is really good for this. And students will draw the base 10 blocks that we can manipulate in the classroom, but we're trying to move away from having all those blocks. Plus, they all know that I don't have that many thousands cubes. So they start to represent them with visual. So we will draw each of those, and I'll show you what they look like. So if there is no context, I usually have the kids think of money. Everybody likes money. So if we start with $3,462 and 2 friends, we want to figure out how much each of those friends is going to get. So we say, all right, well, if you have $3,000 bills, how many $1,000 bills, how many whole $1,000 bills will each friend get? Well, they'll each get 1,000. So kiddos will either try to draw a cube. If they can't draw a cube, they draw a square and color it in. And you'll see why in a minute. So we have $2,000 bills handed out. We have $1,000 bill that we need to trade for 10 hundreds. And we know that there are 10 hundreds in 1,000 block. So I get 10 hundreds, and you can write the square. This is how we represent a hundreds flat. So this is why they color it in. If they draw a square for a thousands block, they need to color it in so it looks different than the hundreds flat. So if we trade that and we get 10 hundreds flats, we already have 4 in our problem. So then we need to add those hundreds flats that we have. So then we have 14 $100 bills to pass out. So I do one at a time. Some of the kiddos are thinking, okay, well, what is 14 divided by 2? And they know it. If not, you just do it one at a time. I think that's right. It should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 is 14. So I've used all my hundreds flat. I have nothing left over. Now I need to go to my tens. If I have 6 $10 bills, how many can they each get? And this is just represented with a long. So again, they can think about, well, if I have 6, how many will each of them get if there's 2 friends? And then I'm done with that. I have nothing left over, and I have my 2 ones. Each of them is going to get a $1 bill. So then I find my answer by looking at this row. And so my answer, A, equals 1,731, and I have nothing left over. So we each get an equal amount. The other strategy, or I shouldn't say other strategy, so the other situation we have is when our divisor is larger than the first digit of our dividend. So let me show you what that would look like. So if I have 3,462 and I divide that by 4, now I have 4 friends to split that. Well, when I set up this problem, now if I have $3,000 bills and I have 4 friends, I can't give them all out because not everybody will get one. So then what I need to do is I need to trade these $3,000 bills for hundreds. So I'm gonna take, I'm gonna take my 3,000s I have, and I'm gonna trade for 30 hundreds plus my 400s here. So now I have to pass out 34 hundreds. So again, they might think of a strategy of, what 34 divided by what is going to get me my answer, or they just count it out one at a time. So how many do I end up with? Am I close? What am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So I should be at 8 times 4 is 32, which means that I need to trade now. I'm going to slide this up a little bit. So now I have 2 hundreds. I need to trade for 20 tens, and I have 6 tens. That gives me 26 tens, and I'm going to divide that out. Let's see if I can adjust. 1, 2. All right, so I have tens handed out. Again, I had 2 tens left over, so I have to trade my 2 tens, trade for 21s plus my 2 ones I have. Oops, that gives me 22, sorry, 22 ones I have to pass out. So again, 20. All right, so I'm left with a remainder in this case. So when I write my answer, I know that I've only used 20 ones, so I have 2 left over. So I have 2 as a remainder. And so again, I find my answer in my first row. I'm going to write it up here. So A equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 865 with a remainder of 2. So those are the 2 strategies, or sorry, that's only 1 strategy. This is the first strategy for division, using the base 10 blocks and drawing them with a representation. I'm going to show you I've already done it. Another way that kids do, they draw groups of. So this is an image of that. I've already done it out because it's way too much to write. But another strategy is to do the same method that kids did on this first one I was showing you, but they draw circles instead of the rows. And they can do it one of 2 ways. So some of them will actually draw the pictures of the base 10 blocks in the circles, or some of them will actually draw the digits to represent it. The only thing I caution with this is that they get mushed together very easily, so they have to have a really strong strategy to organize how they're writing their digits, because the tens and hundreds will get mushed together pretty easily. So the kids know what strategy works best for them, and so you can show this to them as a refresher. I'm sure they will all love to hear my voice, and then you can give them any series of problems as long as you don't go over a 4-digit dividend. That's as high as we go, and we have only 1-digit divisor. So these are the 2 strategies that they can use to 2 different representations, and they know what worked best for them. Please let me know if you have any questions. I am here to help. This is just a review, but it is no way meant to stress you out. So happy learning.